Hello and welcome back to the Reactivist Podcast. I'm Marlena Shiro. Former President Bill Clinton sits down with Joe Scarborough. At what point do we stop doing a post-mortem of the election results and Monday morning quarterbacking of why the Democrats lost? I don't have that answer, but Bill Clinton had a few things to say that took a very long time. Now, I've spoken to people who speak slowly, and I've spoken to people who take a minute to get to the point they're trying to make, but Bill Clinton has taken it to a whole new level.
Talk about how Democrats maybe stop firing at each other and start working together.
Look, you and I have now been friends for years. We've got our political differences and we've got a political history, but I know you and I like you. Now, suppose you and Mika just did a makeover of your living room, and you asked me to come visit.
Okay.
And I visit, and it is beautiful. Everything about it is beautiful, except in the corner, you've got this beautiful curved couch.
Oh, my God.
But behind the couch, there's a pink elephant.
Yeah.
And now, I could ask you, I said, I guess you're still a Republican, you just turned a little pink? Or something, we could do it, we find it. It almost doesn't matter what I say.
What are you saying? No, really, what are you saying?
The one thing I cannot do is to come in, drink your coffee, talk about how beautiful your living room is, and turn around and not mention the pink elephant.
And ignore it.
As of right now, the only pink elephant I see is that President Clinton is drinking imaginary coffee and looking at an imaginary renovation and is complimenting Scarborough and his wife Mika on that renovation.
I don't even believe the real problem is whether you should be more verbally left or center. I think you've got to talk like people talk who will make the difference in the outcome of the election. You don't have to sell out what you believe in, but you do have to meet people where they live. And you can't get very far avoiding it.
I don't think I could wait to the end of this movie to find out what the pink elephant represents. I know he's trying to make an analogy, but it turned into a journey, and I don't have a lot of time.
I think a lot of Democrats, a lot of people like me, independents, I was focused on Donald Trump's political rhetoric, his violent political rhetoric. I said, it sounded like fascist rhetoric to me. You combine that with January 6th, you combine it with everything else. I kept talking about that every day because for me, that was what mattered the most to me.
Oh my God, let it go, Joe. Just let it go.
They give him perhaps too much credit for the fact that in the first 2.5 years or so of his presidency, the first time, the economy got better. I think the facts are that he inherited the end of the Obama era's recovery.
Land the plane, President Clinton. Land the plane.
But there was no inflation, and people felt it. So we had to see that election the way they did and answer that. So when we didn't answer it, it was like we left the pink elephant in the living room.
Okay, got it. I'm sure that Joe is happy to be sitting here no matter what President Clinton is saying, because it's in Joe's best interest right now to be seen with as many Democrats as humanly possible, especially ones as high profile as Bill Clinton, because he is still talking about his critics. I've definitely seen a shift in journalists when it comes to Donald Trump. They've definitely softened their tone a little bit. And then some people, like I said last week, Joe went to the extreme, apologizing to Fox News for something their guest said. But a different guest at MSNBC was very candid about Donald Trump and his cabinet picks, and no apologies followed. Take a listen.
If you want to understand what's going on, think about the mafia. This is the same thing. And again, the literature, historical literature on dictators talks about the relationship, Hannah Arendt talks about this, between the fascist leader, say, and the mob boss. So you hire the people who are going to get it, who already know what you want. It's a very familiar strategy we all know from gangster films.
Okay, well, so there's that.
It's the last time I ever watched Morning Joe, period. For months you were telling us he's the worst thing that could happen to this country and democracy. And then you go kiss his ring.
Rosie O'Donnell has never been quiet about her political beliefs and where she stands. Rosie O'Donnell never loved Donald Trump. Actually, she hates Donald Trump. Donald Trump absolutely hates Rosie O'Donnell. A very public hate relationship for almost 2 decades now. So it's not surprising that she has gone online and has been very upset about the election results. In the days following the election, she spoke out a lot on social media, but she has found some light spots along the way and has shared those. And just in case you missed it, I'm going to rewind it back just a little bit to give you some context.
That is 100% Julie Andrews. She has the scar right there on the back. Oh my God, this is the best moment of the last freaking 14 days or whatever number we're on. Please, everyone, believe. You know what? Julie Andrews lives.
She is not talking about the actress Julie Andrews. She is talking about a squirrel that she had in her yard, and the squirrel left at some point, and now Julie Andrews, the squirrel, is back. Leave it to a squirrel to find a nut. This was a high moment for Rosie in the 2 weeks following the election, with a positive message at the end there, telling everyone to believe.
Please, everyone, believe.
Rosie and Trump may just have a little bit of common ground. Donald Trump, who just went on Meet the Press over the weekend, also talked about what he believes in.
I'm a big believer in tariffs. I think tariffs are the most beautiful word. I think they're beautiful. It's going to make us rich.
Tomato, tomato. Let's check in with Rosie O'Donnell and see how she's doing today.
Look what I have on my lip. Everybody's been saying you have herpes all this time, and I never had a cold sore in my life. And now I have a cold sore. And it makes me think that perhaps this weird pimple that had a tiny little head was a cold sore too.
Ew, TMI.
So I don't know. I will let you know tomorrow if I do in fact have herpes.
Please don't. I think there's like a HIPAA law about that. Maybe you should just keep it to yourself. Maybe you just go see your doctor, do what you need to do, and never talk about it again. Thank you in advance. You know, Rosie O'Donnell was extremely funny. I always was a fan of hers. I loved her movies. I loved her talk show. I liked her on The View back in the day. She really, really should just find her way back to comedy. I think she'd be a lot happier. And I can say for certain that her humor is way more entertaining than a herpes diagnosis.